All right, back on the show now is Damon Jackson as he gets ready to face Dan Ige next on January the 14th at UFC Vegas 67. Damon, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Happy to have you back, especially after that last victory over Pat Sabatini. Holy smokes, man. That was such an impressive performance. A lot to get into there. I'll get into that here in a second. But first, I wanted to wish you an early Merry Christmas. It is this weekend. So what's the plans for the family?
Man, we're actually just getting to stay here. I just built a house, so it got done right after my last fight, and so we're kind of getting to chill here this year, which is like the first time we've done that, and I don't even remember last time. We always travel up to Missouri and Oklahoma, so it's nice to just chill at the house, and that's the game plan. We have everybody come to see us, so.
That's the way it should be. Very good. Well, is your weight close to where it needs to be so you can maybe indulge a little bit and eat something you'd like?
Yeah, my weight's always good, but I don't really enjoy it honestly. There's just not a lot besides like donuts and like cheeseburger. Like that's really the only bad food that ever sounds good to me. So I'll definitely stay away from the donuts, until the fight. So that's really all I'm tempted by.
Well, let's talk about that victory over Pat
Okay.
Sabatini. I mean, like I said earlier, that was so impressive. You really went in there, you did your thing, and we all know that you had a heavy heart going in there. And again, nothing but my sincerest condolences for your loss of your brother. What is your, I guess, mindset looking back on everything that you went through emotionally and to get that win and that performance of the night bonus?
Man, it was just nice to have everything kind of paying off when I really needed it and I really wanted that fight anyways. And that's why I chose to continue fighting. I knew I wanted that fight. As soon as they asked, they were like, hey, you want to fight, this guy this day? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. That's perfect because he had a streak going. People were still doubting me, so it was nice to just kind of get in there and go against like the next prospect or whatever you want to call him. So it's like, it was nice to get in there and to have that performance was just pretty awesome. It was nice to not take any damage and just to be able to get in there and get that finish, the way I did. It was nice.
How are you and the family and everyone doing now? I can't imagine that the pain has gone away at all. I mean, I lost my father, so I know what it's like to lose someone that you love more than anything. How is everyone doing? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely that fight helped a lot because it was very nice to just very rewarding honestly because like after the fight was over, obviously I had to go see my family and come back home and everything. And it seemed like that carried the conversation in a different direction than just talking about my brother only. So it was nice to kind of get everybody's mind off of it because my whole family watches every fight that I do, and my distant cousins, my aunts, uncles, everybody watches my fights, and so it was just nice to go there and then not have to only talk about that and to only talk about all the hurt and everything. So it was just a good, it was good. I think it was very therapeutic in a lot of ways because that whole week of when someone passes, you got to sit there for a whole week and wait for the funeral, and there's really nothing to do. So it's like to have something that MMA means so much to me. So to have that in my life for that week to keep me distracted was nice, and I think my whole family enjoyed it too.
Was that the most gratifying win of your career?
Yeah, it was, not just because of that, but, I've been working so hard and, I really have been working on my striking and, I land those kicks all the time, outside of my fights. I land them in practice all the time. I throw them all the time. It just like it was nice to just have that part pay off. But, just definitely that was my favorite win just because of everything that was going on. And then just to get the finish the way I got. It was nice.
And with the new house that you guys just built, that performance of the night bonus had to help.
Yeah, man, it's like that was gone. That's been gone for the last 13 years. So that performance of the night bonus is just nice to, maybe cushion up the house a little bit with some, decorative bullcrap that I wouldn't want to buy. So my wife was happy she got to go all out with, everybody's rooms. Cause I told her, I'm like, hey, we're building this house, but it's gonna be a couple months before we start furnishing the entire place. So she didn't listen, and she, bought all the girls all their stuff, and she does her thing, and it looks like we've been living in it for years now. It's pretty cool to see what she's done with it. It's pretty cool.
So I have one room in our house, and the rest of the house belongs to my wife. I have like a man cave.
Yeah.
Whatever I want to put in the man cave, it's my decision.
Yeah.
Do you have one room to yourself?
I actually built a, third car garage on the side of my house for a gym. So I have a pretty badass gym at my house. So I guess I don't know that in my garage is mine too because I have all my woodworking stuff in there. So those two places are where I go. But honestly, man, I have a media room upstairs, and I haven't, like, I probably have watched one movie, and it wasn't an adult movie. It was a freaking some kids bullcrap, like something I don't even know. They had me watching something. I fell asleep. I'm like, I have this media room. I've never got to watch anything. So I've been watching some of Dan's fights up there, so that's nice to just get up there. And when the girls were at school, I was kind of just sitting up there watching fights. So definitely, man, I'm excited for this fight. This is a huge opportunity in every way. It's just nice to have those opportunities.
Absolutely. And 4-fight win streak for you now. You're finally getting that top 15 opponent that I know you've been asking for quite some time now. So Dan Ige, this is a guy that you know is coming in hungry. He's on a 3-fight skid, but when you look at who he's fought, I mean, Josh,
Yeah,
that Korean zombie, Mozar Ivalov. So he's in there with the best of the
yeah,
best. You have to imagine you're probably going to get the best version of Dan Ige, a hungry guy coming in there to get a win. What do you think of
yeah.
the matchup, just stylistically?
Yeah, obviously, like the wrestling goes my way, but the his jujitsu is pretty freaking awesome. He's good off his back, he's good on top. If he gets your back, you're in trouble. Um, he's got pretty nasty power. He swings pretty heavy sometimes, and so his boxing's there. His wrestling defense is great. His jujitsu offense is great, and defense is great. It's a tough fight everywhere you look at it. I think he can look at it the same way for me is that on the feet I'm not scared to throw anymore. It's just nice to kind of let loose and stuff like that, but I'm not dumb. I'm not going to sit there and trade back and forth with him. He's got some really good striking, and he's been at it for a few years now, like where he's been really letting it loose. And for me, I'm just kind of like feeling comfortable on my feet, so I'm just trying to continue evolving in that sense. And I'm definitely every fight I'm looking to get to the ground. That's my thing. I love it. I love every matchup there. It doesn't matter what their background is. I want the fight to the ground for sure.
Which reminds me, you're no longer the leech. You changed your nickname to Action. So I don't know the backstory behind that. Why did you make that transition to a new nickname?
That was actually it's my brother's football nickname. So they would always call it out over the intercom. Like when I was a kid, we'd be at the football game, and me and my buddies would be playing football behind the bleachers or something like that, and they would always call out Action Jackson on the tackle or whatever. So it was his football nickname, and I just thought it'd be cool, and I knew my mom was gonna get to go to the fight, and I thought it was just something I could add on there, and it just kind of it's a good reminder too, because like my brother was 37. It's not like he was in his 50s or 60s even. Like that's still young, but like 37 hadn't really had a whole lot of problems with anything. It just kind of out of nowhere just hit. And that's why it was such a big loss, is because like everybody's like, what the hell, like this doesn't make any sense. So it's just a good reminder that Action Jackson, right before a fight, or when doing these interviews, or when someone says something to me about it, it's just a good reminder that taking advantage of everything you have, like with family, friends, and just the your job, your opportunities, and stuff like that. It's just it's a good, like, small subtle reminder just to kick it in gear.
Yeah, well, I love that. I think it's the perfect move to change to your brother's nickname. I love it. Damon Action Jackson now. And with this fight with Ige, man, I mean, talk about taking advantage of an opportunity here. You get this win, this springboards you right into the top 15. Do you expect this fight to be a dirty dog fight? It's going to get into the deep waters, third round? Like, or do you feel like you potentially could get him out of there early?
Every fight I'm looking for finishes 100%. And it's cost me sometimes in the past. It's cost me to go out there looking for finishes and to be that over aggressive fighter. But I really can't change that. Every fight I'm looking to finish it. And I think that if it goes 3 rounds, I trust my I trust my mentality, my mindset, my heart. Like I'll be good to go. I know he's a dog. I know he's been there, many times. He's been 5 rounders and stuff like that. So he's a tough dude, man. I'm a tough dude. This is gonna be a great fight for sure. I think we could have co-mained this one or headlined it for sure. I mean, this is gonna be a fight.
I know I mentioned earlier that he is in a 3-fight skid and the quality of opponents is very high. But having said that, do
Yeah.
you feel like he's as good of a fighter now as he was a year or two ago? Or do you feel like maybe his skill set is diminishing a little bit?
I mean, like none of those guys got him out. Like it's not like if it was diminished at all, I think that any of those guys that he's lost to would have taken him out. He would have got finished. So the fact that he hasn't got finished, and the fact that he's kind of like lost around, won around, lost around, and then like he's hanging in there with like Josh Emmett's about to fight for the title. Calvin Cater has fought for the title. Who else? Mavzar is on his way. That dude's a beast. These guys, Edson Barboza, like he's fought, toughest of the tough in the division. And I definitely think that he's coming in heavy for this one because I mean anyone on a 3-fight losing streak is gonna, yeah, he might be tough, but like he's still on a 3-fight losing streak. So he's got a lot to lose here if he loses this fight. And I know he's gonna be ready to go. But I've been busting my ass, and there's no fear here. So I'm just ready to go and ready to compete and test it because he is a test. He's the biggest test I've had.
You mentioned Josh Emmett. Give me your prediction for the interim title. Josh Emmett, Yair. Who wins that one? How does it finish?
Um, if Josh pulls out his wrestling, he wins that. I think that Yair, he's got that tricky, funky stuff that you don't want. Like, I think any good wrestler should be taking him down. I don't think anybody should be like a wrestler. I don't think any kind of person with a background of wrestling the way Josh has, I don't think that they should be testing themselves on the feet just to prove a point. Hopefully, hopefully he's smart enough to have him and his camp are smart enough to get that fight to the ground so he can win it. But it's a tough fight for sure. But if Josh's wrestling's there, he wins. If not, then I think he's in trouble.
That's a very good analysis. If you get this win over Dan and you do it in impressive fashion, I feel like that sets you up for an even more marquee fight here in 2023. Is there a pay-per-view that you're zeroing in on? Like, is there some place that you'd like to fight? You know where the UFC is going in 2023?
They're coming to Texas, like in San Antonio. I would love to have a quick turnaround. I don't know if any of these freaking top 15 guys would be up for that, but it gets so annoying, honestly, because like it kind of makes me hesitate to like enter that top 15 because it's like these guys are taking like 6 to 8 months for a camp, and like I'm like, why are you training every day? Like, why are you not in shape? Why can't you get ready in like 6 weeks or 8 weeks max? Like, I hate my camps any more than 8 weeks. Like, it just pisses me off. It's like too much to think about for 8 weeks, and like it's just like just too much going on in my head. Like for 8 weeks, it's annoying. So like I like 4 to 6 week camps. I like shorter notice, but there's not a lot of people that do that. But I'm always ready cardio wise. My weight's always good. So I would love to fight in Texas if that could happen, or just anywhere that there's going to be more than 80 seats. The Apex is like, and Dan's gonna have everybody there because he's in Vegas. He's gonna have all of his buddies there and everything. So I do have a pretty big crowd that goes every time. I usually have about 15 to 20 people that go, and those tickets are like they start at like 1,700 a piece.
Wow.
So I mean, it's ridiculous, and I know he's gonna have that place sold out. And because I already had a hard time getting tickets for certain people. I'm like, golly, this is crazy. This far out and they're already sold. So, um, I'm just ready to go, man. I could fight him right now in this parking lot. I'm down. Like, hit me up. As long as it's sanctioned, I'll fight anybody.
Last question for me, Damon. How does this fight end? Official prediction.
Oh man, I'm coming in hard, man. I've been on a mental completely different mental focus for the past 2 years, and it's just I've been excelling and everything. It's just like I'm coming in ready. I know he's gonna be pushing it hard, and but I'm coming in heavy. I'm looking for that finish. I'm coming at him hard. That's all I have to say. I don't know how the finish comes. That front kick was it. We knew that was there last fight, but I never thought that was gonna be the way I finished the fight. And like the whatever is there, I'm taking advantage of it.
All right, man. Can't wait for it. Again, January 14th, UFC Vegas 67. Damon Jackson back in action against Dan Ige. Always great talking to you, my man. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where they can follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, all my social media is just Damon B Jackson. I don't really do a lot on there, so you might see my girls on my story or something like that, but I don't really do a whole lot on social media. But my sponsors, man, I had these two guys that helped me out, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without these guys. But Scott Brown and Durant and Greg C in Durant, Oklahoma, man, they were with me from the beginning, and just shout out to them. And I just appreciate everybody's support so much, and definitely tune into the fight, man. It's gonna be a good one.